The mother of a 10-year-old Vanderbijlpark girl is worried about what the future holds. This is years after her daughter was diagnosed with a rare condition. Lwandle Msibi appeared to be a typical baby, but 2 weeks after giving birth, her mother observed some anomalies, which doctors told her weren't a huge concern. Her condition has worsened over the years. Newzroom Afrika's Zukie Cetywayo filed this report for us.
Lwandle Msibi is a 10-year-old girl who has a rare disease called Fibrodysplasia Ossificans Progressiva. Her soft tissue turns into bones, and this worsens as she grows. Her mother, Flora Mutle, recalls the time when doctors confirmed at 2 years of age that her daughter had the rare condition.
Lwandle was born in 2014 February, and she was born fine, normal, but only her toes were a concern. She was born with big toes. The big toe was shorter than the rest of them. 2 weeks later, she started having bumps on the head. I took her to the doctor, and the doctor said, no, it's nothing to worry about. It's still early. She's only 2 weeks old. And then it continued with her neck not moving. And then it became a concern again. I took her to many doctors, many pediatricians especially, not only GPs, but I took her to pediatricians. They couldn't treat her. They didn't know what it was. They wanted to operate her from the head, and I said no. And the other person said to me, I must take her to a doctor in Newzroom in the northwest. We went there. The lady was also shocked. She took pictures of her and sent to other doctors that she knows. And one of the doctors responded. She was 2 then when we went to that doctor. She said, we can come to her office. 2 days later, we go, and she said to me, your daughter has a rare condition. It's called FOP. It's Fibrodysplasia Ossificans Progressiva. It progresses as she grows. So it means she grows extra bones. Wherever she has a bone, she will grow an extra bone. So her soft tissues are turning into bones. The news were bad, hey? I couldn't take them. And when the doctor said, no, I know what your daughter has, I got excited and I was like, okay, maybe she's going to get better, she'll get treatment. And then she said, no, there's nothing that can be done. And worst of all is that there's no treatment, there's no cure for the disease.
This rare disease makes movement difficult or impossible. Lwandle is relieved that she still has minimal capacity for movement. She loves to dance, and she says it makes her happy to see herself being able to move. Lwandle also dreams of becoming a lawyer when she grows up.
Dancing is nice because you get to learn how to move yourself. I want to become a lawyer because I want to solve people's problems.
Lwandle now fully depends on her mother as she cannot bath, feed and dress herself. Even going to the toilet, she needs help.
She has bones on her back. Her jaws are now locked. She can't open her mouth wide. Her elbows can't bend anymore, so she can't feed herself. She can't dress herself. She can't bath herself. She can't take herself to the toilet. So I do all of that.
Dr. Kareni Spencer is familiar with Lwandle's condition and works for the Western Cape Department of Health as a medical genetics. Shares some information on this condition.
Fibrodysplasia Ossificans Progressiva, or FOP for short, is a genetic condition that is characterized by the formation of bone in the body in places where it shouldn't be, like for instance the muscles or the joints. These bony lesions start off as small, little painful and sometimes red and inflamed little lumps that we call a flare, and once these flare resolves, it usually develops into a bony area. And as you can imagine, initially it might just be a little bump, but as those bony areas start getting more and more, the flares increase, it might be in more parts of the muscle and it might be across joint, and that will ultimately impair a person's mobility. The first sign of FOP can usually be seen at birth. And this is because the big toe often has a change in it. It's a little bit shorter, and it's often turned a little bit so that it's overlapping the second toe. This is something called hallux valgus. Now, this doesn't mean that everybody with hallux valgus has FOP, but the other way around is mostly true, that almost everybody with FOP has a hallux valgus deformity. And thereafter we usually see that flares and bony formations will really only start when children are somewhere around 5 years old. And it will start sometimes with a flare and sometimes with a bit of stiffness in the neck. And thereafter it might progress to lesions on the back and on the chest. And ultimately, over the span of a lifetime, to many other places across the body.
Flora has learned to accept her daughter's life, although she still worries that one day she might grow extra bones, which could eventually affect her mobility. For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I am Zukie Cetywayo in Muvhango Extension 5, Vanderbijlpark.